Hey YouTube, it's Travis again from All Nihongo. Kampai. So today I wanted to talk a little bit about the frequency of which you study Japanese. Um, a lot of places will mention that it's a good idea to study every day, um, and there is a lot of truth to that. But what a lot of people don't discuss is what happens, if you miss a day, or you miss a couple of days, or you fall off the wagon for a little bit. What I've found is that can tend to be more damaging than anything else in your entire Japanese studying career, if you will. Or studying any other language for that matter. It doesn't necessarily just apply to Japanese. However, a lot of people have also mentioned that they just don't have the time to sit for 2 or 3 hours every day and study. Um, well, I don't either. So anybody that does, you're a lucky bastard. I certainly don't have the time to sit for several hours every day and study. So the way that I get around it is I sort of weave it into my daily activities. Whatever it is that I'm doing, every once in a while, I will find a way to maybe study for 30 seconds or 2 minutes throughout the day and just keep touching Japanese here and there. And what I found is it actually helps things stick better because um, and I don't remember where I read this, but I remember reading anything over about 20 to 30 minutes, you start to lose your attention span and things don't tend to stick as well. Obviously, people get varying mileage on that. Some people can study for hours and never have a problem. Some people have the attention span of a gnat, and after 30 seconds, their attention span is lost. I'm not quite that bad. I'm probably about 15 minutes, and then I start to sort of wander a little bit. Um, Anyways, so my point is, a lot of times what I have found that works really well is if I say 5, 6 times throughout the day, study for somewhere between 2 to 5 minutes. Whether that's studying by doing Anki reviews, you certainly don't even have to complete all of one of your deck's reviews or anything like that. Just do what you can in that time frame and call it quits for a bit. So you do some card reviews. Another thing you can do is maybe read a quick article, maybe watch a couple of videos on YouTube, or maybe a video on YouTube, just enough to sort of break up the monotony of the day, but at the same time use that time to further your Japanese knowledge. One other thing that I have found to be pretty good is most people have smartphones nowadays. So it might sound a little bit strange at first, but some people when they have to go, do their business in the bathroom, as it were, they just kind of sit there. And one thing that I found is, hey, you're in there for a couple minutes. Perfect opportunity to study some Japanese. Usually it amounts to just a few Anki card reviews, but hey, it's something. So that's another thing that you could do. A lot of times I have a long drive to and from work. Depending on traffic, it can vary anywhere from 40 minutes if it's really good and I catch no red lights, to an hour and a half, 2 hours if there's a traffic jam or I catch every red light on the way home. So a lot of times what I'll do is I'll just stream, some Japanese internet radio to my phone, and that seems to work really well for me sometimes. Um, Another thing you can do is listen to some music, or maybe if you've got some audiobooks that you've got, or maybe download some podcasts if you don't have the internet readily available in your car or in your phone or whatnot. Download some podcasts. Most of them come in MP3 format. One of the podcasts that comes to mind, or I should say set of podcasts, is anything from TBS Radio 954. They've got tons of different shows that most of which offer all of their programs in a downloadable MP3 file. So you could just download a whole collection of those, subscribe to their RSS feed, and then you could just see when they have released a new podcast. You could just download it right from the site, throw it on your phone or your MP3 player, and go. So my point is, it doesn't really require that you invest a lot of time in chunks, but more so that you have more of the smaller chunks. The advantage that I've found to doing that is it doesn't require as much out of your attention span. It doesn't tend to be, it doesn't tend to wear me down as much as doing one long binge study. But I've also found that it tends to stick better, at least for me. So I highly recommend that you try that if you've not run across that before. You know, give it a shot. Maybe first thing when you wake up, maybe just do a couple reviews or something. You're sitting down eating breakfast or whatnot. Instead of watching the news or reading a newspaper or something like that, bust out a Japanese book, bust out a manga or hell, a Japanese newspaper if you can find one, if you've got one near you, or maybe pull up one of the Japanese websites like NHK Easy or something like that, or NHK if you're to that level. But yeah, pretty much just the point is just hit it as many times as you can throughout the day, and you'll really start to see some results pretty quickly. But more so, you'll find that stuff sticks a lot better. At least that's what I found. So, one other thing I wanted to mention was it's a suggestion that I actually got from All Japanese All the Time, and he, in turn, got this from, I believe it was Jerry Seinfeld that actually came up with this. One thing to sort of keep you motivated to study every day is, and I've recently started doing this, is keeping a yearly calendar. And every day that you study Japanese, you draw a red X through the calendar day that you study. And basically what it does is it forms a chain that's sort of visible, and the idea is that you don't want to break the chain. So I've got mine here that I started for 2014. There's January. You can see that there. And then, I've got this little key at the bottom. Nihongo o benkou shimasu. So, basically the idea is just to keep that chain going as long as you possibly can. Essentially meaning don't miss a day of studying. And as long as you have studied for, say, 15 minutes throughout the day, technically that counts as studying. Ideally, it should be several times throughout the day, just like we discussed earlier. But yeah, I would just highly recommend adding that to your studying technique and seeing how long you can keep that chain going. That's kind of what I just wanted to discuss for today, and I've got some more videos on some study techniques and things that I use coming up, but I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap this one up for now. So, thanks. If you like this video and my others, please subscribe. Have a good one.